And this is something that appeared on my Instagram earlier today, guys. Is from a magazine called Coveteur. I think it's a fashion magazine or women's magazine, I guess. Coveteur? Sounds like a French fashion mag or something. And this is the headline. Check this out. The return of the TUMBLR girl could point to a recession. And why am I bringing this up? Why is that funny, Aid? It's because, like for internet users, subscribers of the internet, enthusiasts of the World Wide Web, you will remember there was a period in time, I guess about 15, 20 years ago, when Tumblr was huge. It was gigantic, guys. And the TUMBLR girl was a sort of an internet archetype, wasn't it? In case you're unaware. Of a sort of, a young, trendy, up-and-coming, progressive woman, independent, flowery with her vocabulary, funny, witty, and I guess fashion in tune. Fashion forward was a phrase that was being bandied about quite a lot back then. So the return of the TUMBLR girl, right? Tumblr sort of had a glory days kind of period, a golden age. And it kind of petered out, I guess, around the same time as MySpace and Facebook blew up. And the sort of thing that it offered, the product that Tumblr offered was like the blogosphere, wasn't it? It was, you can write a blog on our website, and then people can search for those topics and those hashtags or whatever else, and they'll find your stuff, and you could blow up your blog. That way it could become really, really popular. Maybe you'll become a journalist. However, once people learned that it's actually not that difficult to set up your own website, and once other platforms like Medium came along and just went, you know what, we've got a really slick platform. You could just write for us. Looks fucking hella good. But a lot of these things sort of basically collapsed Tumblr, I think. You don't really hear much about it anymore. But apparently, allegedly, there is a return. There is a renaissance of TUMBLR girls out there. Independent female bloggers. And yes, I'm going to get to the point. Like, there's just something so funny about, like, the return of the TUMBLR girl. Right? Yes, something you should celebrate. In a fashion mag, in a women's magazine, as an independent female journalist, whatever the fuck this Coveteur is, you should be celebrating the return of the TUMBLR girl, the internet archetype that represents strong, witty female journalism. The return of the TUMBLR girl. She walks through the door, she's like, hey, I'm back! And it's like, you're going to use her as a signifier as a recession. It's like, there's just something so darkly funny. We're acknowledging, we're celebrating the return of the TUMBLR girl. But exclusively in the scenario where we use her as a bellwether for something terrible. The return of the TUMBLR girl could point to a recession. Guys, could do. I should have known. As soon as I saw the TUMBLR girl, I knew we were in fucking trouble. Like, could you get a more perfect example of internalized misogyny than having a female independent journalist? Not content with, like, blaming women for stuff that they haven't done, that they're not responsible for actually in the real world. Not content with that, but just heaping blame on this poor girl for something she could have absolutely no responsibility for. The return of the TUMBLR girl could point to a recession, guys. Like, every time this poor bitch walks into a shop, she just wants to buy a new cardigan, and they're like, dude, get out! It's the TUMBLR girl! We only scraped through last quarter! She wants to be known for her journalism and her fashion. Instead, she got people fucking around looking at her like she's the Grim Reaper of commercialized clothing. The return of the TUMBLR girl could point to a recession. The return of the suffragettes, guys. The return of the suffragettes, God bless them, could point to 2 closed lanes on the M25 this weekend, guys. You gotta look out for that. The return of Amelia Earhart could, not saying it she definitely would do. But it could, if she returned, it could adversely affect your house price. Guys, you gotta be careful with these bitches, with their magical boobs that adversely affect the economic conditions of the US and the UK, apparently. As the return of the Tumblr girl could signify a recession. Could be, yeah, there can be no joy here.
Just another video with Adrian Thompson.